Okay, we'll go ahead and kick off. Thank you everyone for coming out on this beautiful day. We scheduled the weather in November according to our needs for this great ceremony. So this is to celebrate the completion of the Mission-Razorback connector. So this is one part of the connector that you see here behind me. The Razorback Greenway, which you all know and love, is just right down the street, and ahead of us this way, we can't see it, but the Mission Boulevard project that's going to kick off next year. And this is a big part of connecting our community with safe, all ages and abilities, appropriate infrastructure for walking and biking. And this project's been a long time in the making. We have some great speakers here, Mayor Jordan, Matt Mihalovich, David Fournay, and if we do see Jeremy Pate roll up, he's going to get behind the mic for us as well from the Walton Foundation. So I think this is a great project because we are in neighborhoods that are dense and we're already seeing a lot of usage. We've been measuring some of the usage. We have as many as 25 people an hour crossing at the North College Hawk Crossing, which is great to see people walking and biking. A lot of those people are using the route for transportation, recreation, you name it. And so we're really happy to have this on the ground and have it already being so well used. So with that, I'm going to kick it off with a man who needs no introduction, the mayor of our fine town, Lionel Jordan.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Let me ask you all a question before we get started. Don't you just love this city? Yes? I want to make mention of some folks I saw here today. I saw Sarah Bunch from Ward 3, Sloan Scroggins from Ward 3, Mike Whitaker from Ward 2. Give them a round of applause if you would. Thank you all for being here. This is a great day to celebrate a new trail connection. Around 12,000 people live within 1 mile of the center of this route, and that is a 6-minute bike ride. Yes? All right, this means better access to active transportation and recreation for so many residents. And I am so proud that Fayetteville has safe, accessible trails for all ability levels. I want to thank the Walton Foundation for the grant that helped make this possible. I want to say thank you to the Fayetteville voters who provided trails improvement funding in the 2019 bond election. Yes, thank you all. I want to thank city staff who made today possible. And I want to thank you for being here to help us celebrate. It's a great day. It's a great city. We're on the move, progressive, fired up, and ever going forward. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor Jordan. That was fantastic, as always. I want to remind everyone too, if you didn't get one of the information packets that were circulating around, I have a couple of extras. Those have some information about the project, as well as a map of the walking tour that will be going on immediately following the ribbon cutting. And there's also a survey on Speak Up Fayetteville. There's a convenient QR code on the back. You can scan it with your phone. It's a very quick survey. I promise it won't take you more than a couple minutes to complete, and that really helps us understand how people are using the facilities and helps us with our grant requirements as well. So with that quick plug, I'm going to turn it over to Matt Mihalovich. He's the Active Transportation Manager for the City of Fayetteville, and I'll just let you take it away.
Thanks a lot, Dane. I'm just so grateful for Dane. It's many of my 18 years working at the City of Fayetteville as a trails coordinator, I was kind of more solo, and so now, more recently, last 3 or 4 years, maybe 3 or 4 years, have a real right-hand man, and he's just terrific at helping push us forward with active transportation in Fayetteville. Just wanted to talk a little bit about this project in particular. I'm real grateful for the opportunity to work on it. It's kind of a unique project because it's not a true trail. It's a combination. And as we get into older parts of town, we really just can't build a trail like you think of it, like a Razorback Greenway, everywhere. And so we had to get creative with this project, and I think you'll see some examples of that, especially along Trenton Street, where we had a creek on one side, a very steep hill on the other side, on the south side, and neighbors that don't have driveways per se, so they needed to continue to be parking along the street. We couldn't get rid of that parking to incorporate a trail, so it is a more of a shared street, and it was kind of an experiment, but we feel like it's working well, and we actually have a resident back here. Is it working okay, Austin? It seems to be working fine and accomplishing the goals of attracting people of all ages and all abilities. So it was about that comfort, how comfortable we feel using the facility. And it was really reassuring to me. I heard from a dad that lives over on Sutton Street in the Historic District, and previously to this project, his 5-year-old son would ride in the trailer behind his bike. Because we built this, he felt comfortable enough having his little boy is now on his own bike. And so I think that's really just kind of sums up what we're trying to accomplish. So you can see we focused on improvements in the higher traffic parts of this project. Other parts aren't as busy, and so we didn't have to invest as much into those parts. In the future, this is a connector to Mission Boulevard, which that's going to be our big project coming up. As Dane mentioned, we're really excited about building a trail along the very busy Mission Boulevard to tie in the work along Old Wire that has been completed, the Neocoska Creek Trail, connecting in front of Root School, giving kids a way to get to school safer and easier, and not relying as much on getting in the car. So we're really excited to be kicking that project off, starting really early next year, toward this part of this year. That'll be our next big thing. This is really the connector for that project to the Razorback Greenway. So just want to thank everybody. It's also really fun for me to be able to be involved in every detail of this project from the funding side of things. Thanks to the Walton Family Foundation for contributing that. Jeremy wanted to be here. He had a scheduling conflict. Also the bond, it was partially Walton Family money, partially bond funding. So, and then we bid this out to Sweetser Construction. We have some representatives back here, Charlie and Kendall, that really just did an excellent job building this project, and it was a pleasure to work with them. Thanks. Yeah, so at that point, Dane, what's the next step? We cutting ribbon? Oh, that's right. We've got David to speak next. So, as you work on projects, you're pretty close with property owners, and so we try to be very sensitive to their property. It's their property, and we're trying to build a project through, and so we have an example of two property owners, Andrea and David Fournay, that live just right down here at this intersection. Built a new house, beautiful house down there. So David wanted to say a few words. Come on up. Well, we talked him into it.
Okay. I got my nervous person prop here. What do y'all see? See, right. Well, when I was thinking about this, the C words kept coming up. These are my notes. But you can think of one of them, connector, right? Community, connection. There's a pattern here. Celebration, Mayor Jordan mentioned that too. I hadn't thought of that one. We were a little concerned when we first heard about this from Matt. They're going to be working in your front yard. We just built a new driveway and all of that. And I was like, oh boy. But from the beginning, communication. These guys would show up on their bikes, meet with us and go, okay, here are the plans and here's what this means. And we'd be like, no, not that. So compromise, And then Kendall and Charlie come along and their crews, construction crew, more C's, and comedy. Now that I think of it, Kendall would show up and he was always so much fun to work with. Anyway, what else? Well, these C words like connection, communication, collaboration, they have one thing in common, at least one thing, and that is CO, or COM, or CON. And it's the Latin for with or together. And there's a quote by Ken Blanchard. He said, no one of us is as smart as all of us. And that's so true. I mean, this thing came out safer and more user-friendly because of us all working together. So that's about, oh, wait, there's one more thing. Cookies. Look, Kendall's grinning. my wife would bake cookies. Andrea would bake cookies and bring them out to the crew. It was a little incentive. I don't know if that qualifies as bribery. If it is, I deny the whole thing. But I think it made it easier because a lot of times when she came out, it was to say, no, not there. You gotta move it over there. Yeah. And then cookies. So it worked out in the end. All right. And finally, conclusion. Carry on.
Thank you, David. Well, yeah, unfortunate that Jeremy wasn't able to make it. We had him scheduled to speak last, so we can go ahead and move on to what we all came here for, was cookies. I mean, the ribbon cutting. We are going to cut the ribbon immediately after this, and after we cut the ribbon, we'll begin the walking tour. As I mentioned before, the maps that I handed out have the walking tour on that. Matt is going to give his expert guided tour along with myself immediately after the ribbon cutting, but you're welcome to keep those maps and use them and maybe experience it with or without a guided tour. So with that, if you guys want to grab a cookie, it looks like they're coming out, but we're going to make our way across the crosswalk here, and we will cut the ribbon under the oak tree just across the street here in just a moment. Okay? Thank you, everyone. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.